Yeah, even a 30-year-old could get it. What's up, everybody? I got the Hansshow running boards installed on the Cybertruck. Looking minty. Really cool design. Keeping in theme with the Cybertruck logo, the triangles. The first thing, I only installed the right side so far. I'm going to go ahead and install the left side with you guys just so you can get an idea how easy it is to install. The first thing I did was go on extract mode or off-road mode and hit up extract, so then that way we have plenty of room to work with. The running boards are great. Cybertruck does come with auto suspension, so what happens is when you put it in park, the suspension does drop down lower so shorter people can come in. But even with the auto suspension, my mother-in-law, my wife, my kids, they all complain that it's still too high. So this would work for them. Also, a great thing about this is if you look on the other side, the running boards not only make it easier for you to come in and out of, it does offer another element of protection for your car. If you see here, I already got a little bit of road rash from just everyday wear and tear. What ends up happening is this mud flap, this fairing valance, if it gets struck when you're off-roading or whatnot, it comes off really easy. So it'll be a nice little warning once you start hearing things hitting that metal running board, which is will be kind of your first sign of warning. It's nicely coated, kind of like a bed liner material. So another pro for me personally, besides my family getting out in and out easier, is now when I wash the car, I could just go ahead and step on this and get up and access the roof a lot easier. Hey, how's it going? So here we have it installed on this side, and then we'll take you through the steps to have it installed on the other side. If you want to just take a quick look at how it is installed, just no drilling, just direct bolt on, 3 points of contact, really simple. So we'll go ahead and try to breeze by the install on this side. Let me take off the camera. I already have everything kind of pre-flighted. 4 brackets, spacer, 13 millimeter, 10 millimeter. The first thing you do is you take off 4 existing bolts. If you want to take a look, there's actually 6 of them, but you just take the 4 that's located on the center. So I'll go ahead and start taking those out. You end up not using them again, so you just set it off to the side. So these bolts are the ones that are going to need the spacers. I don't know if you could see with the angle, but this plastic does get really beat up. So we took off those 4 bolts. What we do next is these are labeled L for left side, R for right side. It's a little counterintuitive because the lower numbers in the front and the higher numbers in the back. So 4, 3, 2, 1, L4, L3, L2, L1. And what you do is it's kind of 3 points of contact that meet the bottom of the car, and then the running board goes on top here. So the spacer goes in this hole, so you could just go ahead and put the spacer in first, and then you could hand tighten the 10 millimeter So this is the 10mm that Hansshow gives you, that you removed from Tesla originally. Story of my life, can't find the hole. Just gotta kind of feel around for it. All right, there we go. And then the 13 goes in a existing hole that you didn't have to unscrew anything for. Hand tighten that first. And then I'm using this drill, kind of tighten it. I'll go back and tighten it all the way with an actual ratchet. But that way we're just kind of guided in. And then the 13, I'm just gonna use a hand ratchet. So that's the first bracket. Second bracket, L3, same thing. We're gonna go ahead and put the spacer in here. And then 10mm goes washer, crush washer, and then the bolt. You almost can't put the wrong washer with the wrong bolt because thickness of the washer or the bolt won't allow the smaller washer to get in. Hansshow kind of makes it dummy proof, which is good because I'm a dummy. 10mm tighten, 13mm with the ratchet. So this is L3, which is the second bracket on the driver's side. Working our way from front to back. L2. Now you can see that the brackets are all pointing in one direction, which will make it a little bit easier to install. Spacer goes in first where the pre-existing hole was. Hand tighten the 10mm. Line up the 13mm. 13mm goes in. Washer, crush washer, and then the bolt. There's like a lot of wiggle room that you could kind of adjust. Or if you could see, like, I could still wiggle it quite a bit, which allows for kind of adjustability when you do end up putting your running board on. If you want to have it poke out, have it more flush to the car. Poking out, some advantages would be you could actually use the running board to sit on, put on snowboard, put on your gears, snowboard boots. If you want it more flush, to me, will be a cleaner look. So it's up to you, both ways. Can't go wrong, kind of customize it to your style. And then if you're kind of worried about this putting pressure on the battery pack, you could see here it says lift point. So it's designed for a little bit of pressure. Now the running board itself, you could go both ways. It's not labeled left or right. You just kind of just rest it on top. I would like to have it a little bit just closer to this fairing so I could reach the items in the back a little bit more. I don't really need it to be sticking too far out to the front tire because I don't load up too many things there. And then you grab these 4 brackets, and these brackets kind of rest inside the running board down, and then you tighten up the bolts that way. When you are putting these metal brackets inside the running board, you just gotta kind of watch where it doesn't hit, because there is not that much clearance. So it goes washer, crush washer, and then nut. I'm just gonna hand tighten these now, and then I'll come back and tighten them up with the ratchet after. Reason being is it will allow me to kind of shift the running board around and kind of have it the way I want it. So that was the first bracket, hand tighten. So each of these brackets are going to our original L1, L2, L3, L4 brackets. Not a lot of room. I'm gonna just go and over here, come back to that one. It's almost better for you just to put the brackets in first and then tighten them up so you can lift the running board up and have the threads, the studs, kind of fall into place where you need it. So that was another advantage of not tightening those bolts all the way. All right, cool. So our 1's all the way in, 2's all the way in, and now we just go ahead and tighten the nut to the bracket, washer, crush washer, nut. You don't have to hold the other end of the bracket, the top end, because it is welded shut. So when you do tighten these up with a ratchet, the nice thing is you only have to use one ratchet. You're not trying to, you don't need to grab a wrench on the other side to keep it in place. 2 of each, 2 washers, 2 nuts, 2 crush washers on each one of these brackets. Washer first, then crush washer, then nut, washer, crush washer, nut. Hand tighten. I got 2 more sets. 1 more set, 2 more. I'll grab this drill because I am gonna forget, and then drop the car, then crush my drill because I'm a dummy. Washer, crush washer, nut, And if you're having a hard time putting these nuts in on one side, you could just tighten it up with the ratchet, and then that would give you a little bit more threads on the stud to work with. I wish I didn't say that, because now it feels like there's not enough on this side. There you go. Or you could just put a little bit more pressure down, and that way you have a little bit more of the threads to work with on the stud, on the bolt to attach the nut. As I'm dropping everything, I didn't really gauge this properly. I'm supposed to be picking up my kid right now, so rushing a little bit more. Last thing you want to do is strip these nuts or bolts. So I'm just going to go ahead and try this other side. This other side looks like I have a little bit more room. And then I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up a little bit with the ratchet so I get a little bit more space, a little bit more shaft to work with. Sometimes you just got to work with a stubby shaft and then have a technique, and then everyone's happy. Anyways, I didn't tighten it up yet, so now I'm going to go ahead and engage. I don't want this to be touching the fairing, so I'm going to push it out a little bit. I personally like it more flush. I don't like poke, so I'm going to push that in. Okay, cool, not touching the fairing. Coming on in, and then tightening up the bolts. This is L1. This is the L1 bracket. And then obviously come in, because I have the 10mm just cordless drill. It's not an impact drill, so it doesn't give you that much torque. It doesn't tighten it up very properly. So you're gonna come in with a ratchet and hit it up. You should just really drive with it for a few days and then come back and tighten up all the bolts anyway. Hit up that one. This is L3, which is the second bracket from the front on the driver's side. Get that a little tight and then hit up the other side. Evenly torque the brackets down. L4. Driver's side front bracket, tighten the two 13mm. That's the 10, here's 13, cool. And then there we have it. And then we're gonna pick up the kiddo. There we have it. All right, here we go. Final install. Just got it cleaned up. There you go. We got the running boards installed. They call them the 2.0s. I like the design much better on this new variant. It's built really well. I don't know if you can hear that. It's like rough sandpaper material, so you're not gonna worry about it. I think it is steel and it's coated in something. I think they call it zinc. So You're not gonna have to worry about your kids or anybody slipping on this stuff. It's really resilient. And if you want to build a table and you need to smooth out some wood and you got no sandpaper, here you go. And if you if you got a block of cheese and you need to grate it with some Cybertruck shredded cheese style, you got that too. Because you could see here, it's already offering protection that I should have used, because there's some little light scratches from everyday use on the plastic already. I think this is entry mode. It looks like it's just laying on the ground, which I love. Super easy to get in and out of. You're no longer stepping on any of this stuff to get in the car. And then what happens too is, I'm 5'10", is I end up sitting on the side bolster to get out without the running boards, because and that's what you gotta do to step out without falling. You kind of put your legs right here and you get out. But now with the running boards, you could just kind of walk out without putting too much weight on that side bolster, so it's going to give you a little bit more even wear. And another advantage too is I think you could access, so I have some of my boxes and my cover right there, and I'm thinking now that you could step on the running boards, you could have access to your base camp better, so you don't have to worry about getting a ladder or stepping on the tire and falling off. Obviously you have better access to the roof rack, pitch point, cleaning the window. I did wash the car just late last night, just a quick wash, and I could almost get to the middle, but still need to kind of step on the door sills to get full access. So you end up stepping right there and stepping up there. Let me see if I could get my German Shepherd, her name's Ellie, out here. Ellie, come out here. Ellie, come. Good girl. So she's about 65 pounds. German Shepherd. She's been hit by a car before we adopted her. Ellie, sit. Sit. Good, sit. So she's been hit before, so we hate to give her more pressure on her paws and her joints more than necessary. So let's see if she actually uses this running board. Ellie, up, up. Good girl, come. Okay, well, she doesn't really use the running board. But it's there, she needs it. Let's see if she uses it on the way down. Ellie, down. Ellie, off. Yeah, she doesn't really need to use it, but it's there if she needs it. Let's see if she uses it on the front end. So on long road trips, my back seat's full, and Ellie usually sits up front with me. So let's go see how she gets up here. Ellie, up. Ellie, get up. Up. Good girl. Okay, so she uses the running board on her way up to the front seat. So normally we have her in the back here, and what's great about the Cybertruck is there's so many little L-track hook points. So we hook her up to the back when we go to the beach and whatnot, short trips. But for longer trips, she sits up. For road trips, she sits up right front with me. I put like a little cooler on the floorboard, and she could stretch out a little bit on the right front seat. All right, good girl, Ellie. Let's go. Come. Go back inside. Good girl. There you have it, guys. Hansshow running boards. Try to get a look on the side. These Hansshow running boards are built very well. I had a Tundra before, and I had some aftermarket running boards, and they only had like 3 latch points, this having 4, and each of the 4 having like 3 contact points to the car. Tell it's built really well. When you step on it, there's no flex. I have no concern with the weight that this thing's gonna get. A con I hear of the running boards is you do lose a little bit of ground clearance, but if you could see like this fairing, it sits lower than the running board, so that's kind of a moot point. But the Cybertruck, it doesn't even come with any battery protection right now, so this is kind of like your first warning for your battery protection if you do a little bit of off-roading. So it'll scratch up the bottom of the running board to kind of warn you ahead of time before you scratch up your expensive battery pack. So that's always a plus. Thanks, Hansshow. To the next one.